Well, don't just stand there. Come draw with me. What? You don't know how to draw? Well, drawing is quite easy actually. Okay, yeah, maybe you're right. Well, how about we start off with the basics? Let's start off with elements of art. For our first lesson, let's talk about lines, or like this straight pole right here is an example of vertical lines. And the one that this pole is standing on is an example of horizontal line. And this rock right here, it is made up of curved and diagonal lines. But of course, line is also what is not obviously seen, but is also what is implied. Like pointing, like, hey, what's that over there? Or how about looking? Next is shapes. Now shapes is very much connected to lines, as shapes is made out of lines. Just like this bulletin board right here. It is made out of lines that form it into a square. Or how about this pin right here? It's made out of one line that curved and curved and curved until it formed into a circle. You know, shapes is really cool and all, but what if we draw a weird circle-ish like shape and then repeat it over and over again? Do you know what we'll get? That's right, texture. And of course, it's not just those shapes or the weirdish circle that can be textured, but also like the cemented floors of a hallway, or the grooves in a room, or how about those textures in a wall. And it's not just those made by humans that can be textured, but also made by nature, like the grass below, or the leaves above. Did you ever ask yourself that somehow, some way, every time you look at the road, it's like there's a point at the end of it? But that just might be what we call
perspective. You see, perspective is what allows you to draw a shape from a certain view. And there is different types of perspective, like this 1-point and 2-point perspective. They are good for depicting scenes or representing objects at an angle. This 3-point perspective good for depicting very high or high and low angle views. This 4-point perspective good for creating soft and natural feel due to its curved lines. And this 5-point perspective, also known as the fish-eye view, they are, or it is, good for depicting everything around you and you.
Can someone turn on the lights? Okay, that's much better. Yes, color. Let me ask you this. Do you think black and white is a color? Well, really, black is the absence of color. And currently in this room it's still kind of dark. So how about we go somewhere brighter? Somewhere with a lot of... Like the outside, where nature is a vibrant green, but the sun hurts my skin. Hold on. Well, anyways, as you can see, just by putting colors around me, you can see what I see and feel what I feel. Just like the sun burning my skin. But enough about that. Let's now talk about contrast. And as you can see, I stand out in this environment where everything is actually very green or brown, and I'm mainly wearing a dark colored outfit. And contrast is pretty easy to do. You just have to make your main subject pop out. Just like the moon in the night and the sun in the sky. Now what's interesting is that you needed sun to cast a shadow, or form. Now, form is like a shape. Form has this depth that makes it look three-dimensional, that makes it look alive. Unlike a silhouette where you don't see any details. Form requires this attention to little things that makes your piece come out of the canvas. Understand? Good. So now let's apply what you've learned to an actual piece.
First of all, visualize your piece along with perspective. Then create lines which will also create shapes. Put it color, add texture, and then of course apply some contrasting values. And finally, add form. Well, there you go. Wasn't that so easy?